Welcome to the Slumber Vault. I am so glad you have found your way here tonight. This is a place where the noise of the world fades away, and the only thing that matters is your comfort. Before we begin our journey, I invite you to make yourself comfortable. Adjust your pillows, pull the covers up to your chin, or perhaps let them lie loosely around you. Now, take a deep, slow breath in, filling your lungs with fresh, clean air, and exhale slowly, letting go of the day.
Imagine for a moment that any heaviness you feel, any heat or tension from the hours you have left behind is evaporating. Visualize a gentle, cooling breeze sweeping over you. It starts at the top of your head, soothing your brow. It flows down across your shoulders, cooling your arms, your chest, your legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Your body feels lighter, cooler, perfectly at ease. Tonight, we are going to leave the sweltering heat of the ordinary world behind. We are going to find a secret door, a passage to a place where it is always a perfect, peaceful winter. A place of deep silence and profound rest. Let your eyes close. Let your breathing find its own slow, natural rhythm, and let us begin.
Our story begins on a day that feels much like the height of summer. Imagine you are walking down a familiar path in the late afternoon. The air is thick and heavy with humidity. The sun is a golden weight on your shoulders, and the sound of the world is a busy, buzzing hum of insects and distant traffic. It is the kind of heat that makes everything move slowly. The leaves on the trees hang still and silent, waiting for a breeze that does not come. You are seeking shade. You are seeking relief. As you walk along an old stone wall covered in thick green ivy, you notice something strange. A cool draft of air brushing against your cheek. It is refreshing, unexpected, like opening a refrigerator door on a scorching day. You push aside the heavy curtain of ivy, the leaves waxy and warm against your fingertips. And there, hidden beneath the vines, is a door. It is not like any door you have seen before. It is made of heavy, dark oak, bound with iron. But the most remarkable thing is the frost. Intricate patterns of white ice crystallize across the wood, glistening in the summer sun, yet never melting. The air around the door shimmers with cold. You reach out and grasp the iron handle. It is bitingly cold, a sharp and welcome contrast to the heat of the day. With a heavy, satisfying creak, the door swings inward. You step across the threshold. Instantly, the world changes. The heavy, humid air vanishes. The buzzing of the summer insects is silenced. You have stepped into the vault of winter.
Here, the air is crisp, dry, wonderfully cold. It smells of pine needles, of deep, frozen earth, and that distinct, clean scent of ozone that comes just before a snowfall. You take a deep breath, the cold air filling your lungs, waking up your senses, making you feel alive and incredibly calm. You find yourself standing at the edge of a vast forest, but it is not day here. It is a perpetual, magical twilight. The sky above is a deep, rich indigo, the color of blueberries crushed on velvet. Snow covers everything, a thick, soft blanket of white. It rests heavy on the branches of the evergreen trees, causing them to bow in gentle, sleepy arches. The silence here is profound. It is the special kind of silence that only snow can create. It absorbs every sound, wrapping the world in a hushed, holy quiet. You look down and realize you are dressed for this weather. You are wearing a thick woolen coat, heavy boots, and a soft scarf wrapped loosely around your neck. You are warm. You are protected. You begin to walk deeper into the woods. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The sound of your boots packing down the fresh, dry snow is rhythmic, hypnotic. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Tiny snowflakes begin to fall from the indigo sky. They drift down, slowly, lazily, like feathers. They brush against your cheeks, melting instantly, cool and gentle. The forest feels ancient, but friendly. The trees stand like silent guardians, watching over this preserved season. There is no wind here, only the stillness of the winter air. Ahead, through the gaps in the heavy pine branches, you see a light. It is a warm, golden glow, a beacon in the blue twilight. You walk towards it, feeling no fatigue, only a sense of peaceful curiosity. As you draw closer, the shape of a cabin emerges from the trees. It is built of sturdy, round logs, dark with age. The roof is piled high with a thick pillow of snow, hanging over the eaves like icing on a cake. A stone chimney rises from the side of the cabin, puffing distinct white clouds of smoke up into the dark sky. The smoke smells of cedarwood and comfort.
You reach the heavy wooden door of the cabin. A lantern hangs beside it, casting a pool of amber light onto the snow. You knock gently. The sound is muffled by the solid wood. The door opens slowly. Standing there is the guardian of this place. His name is Elian, the keeper of the frost. He is a tall, gentle figure. His face is lined with the kind of wrinkles that come from smiling at the stars for centuries. He has a beard like spoon silver, soft and neatly trimmed. He wears a thick, cable-knit sweater the color of oatmeal and trousers of heavy gray wool. He does not speak. He simply smiles, his eyes crinkling at the corners, radiating a warmth that rivals the fire inside. He steps back, ushering you in. You step out of the cold and into the cabin. The transition is glorious. The room is filled with a golden, honey-colored light The air is warm and smells of dried herbs, cinnamon, and old leather-bound books. A massive stone fireplace dominates one wall. The fire is crackling cheerfully, the logs glowing with intense pulsing heat. The orange light dances across the wooden floorboards. The cabin is cluttered, but in a cozy, organized way. Shelves line every wall, filled with glass jars, strange measuring instruments, and stacks of parchment. Elian closes the door behind you, shutting out the indigo twilight and the cold. The latch clicks into place. Click. You are safe, you are warm, you are hidden away in the secret heart of winter, far from the demands of the sun-drenched world above. Elian gestures to a large, overstuffed armchair positioned perfectly in front of the fire. It is upholstered in a faded, soft velvet, deep green like moss. He moves with a slow, shuffling grace, heading toward a small kitchenette in the corner, leaving you to simply stand for a moment and absorb the peace of this room. The only sounds are the popping of the firewood, the soft tick-tock of a grandfather clock in the corner, and the muffled whistle of the wind beginning to pick up outside the thick glass windows. You are exactly where you need to be.
Elian moves away from the fire now. He moves with a slow, shuffling gait, the heavy wool of his trousers swishing softly with each step. He approaches a long wooden workbench positioned beneath a large circular window. The workspace is a masterpiece of order and calm. The wood of the desk is dark and polished smooth by centuries of use. It glows warmly in the light of a small brass oil lamp that sits on the corner. The flame of the lamp is steady, a tiny golden teardrop of light that illuminates the tools of his trade. This is where the work happens. This is the purpose of the vault. Elian takes a seat on a high, cushioned stool. He settles in, adjusting his position until he is perfectly comfortable. He takes a moment to simply breathe, to steady his hands, to center his mind. In front of him, set into the thick glass of the window, is a small brass mechanism. It looks like a miniature airlock, a small chamber designed to bridge the gap between the freezing world outside and the cozy warmth inside. Elian reaches out. His hand is steady as rock. He turns a small brass wheel. Click, click, click. The sound is rhythmic, tiny gears turning in the silence. A small tray slides out from the mechanism. It is lined with velvet, deep, midnight black velvet, and resting in the center of that black velvet is a single perfect snowflake. It has been caught fresh from the indigo sky, a tiny messenger from the clouds. Because the tray is kept freezing cold by the mechanism, the snowflake does not melt. It sits there, glistening in the light of the oil lamp, a tiny star fallen to earth. Elian leans forward. He lowers a large, heavy magnifying glass over the tray. As he looks through it, the tiny speck of white expands. It becomes a world of its own.
Imagine looking through that glass with him. The snowflake is a miracle of geometry. 6 perfect crystalline arms stretching out from a center of pure ice. Each arm is feathered with tiny, delicate branches, like the fronds of a frozen fern. The light catches the edges of the crystal, sparking with colors, tiny flashes of blue, violet, and silver. Elian studies it with deep reverence. He nods ever so slightly. He appreciates the symmetry, the balance, the unique story written in the ice. Now the documentation begins. To his right lies a massive book, the Ledger of Winter. Its cover is made of pale, cracked leather. It is thick, containing thousands of pages. He opens the book to a fresh, cream-colored page. The paper is thick and textured. He reaches for a quill. It is a white feather, long and elegant. He dips the tip into a pot of ink. But it is not black ink. It is silver, liquid starlight. He brings the quill to the paper. Scritch, scratch. The sound of the quill on the paper is quiet, dry, and incredibly satisfying. He begins to draw the snowflake. He does not hurry here. The night is long, and time flows differently in the vault. He draws the center point. Then he draws the first arm, a straight silver line stretching up. He adds the tiny, feathery details, little dashes of silver ink. Scritch, scratch. He rotates his hand. He draws the second arm, perfect symmetry. He moves to the third arm. The silver ink glistens, wet and bright against the cream paper. His breathing is slow and even. The movement of his hand is hypnotic. Up, down, stroke, lift. You watch the drawing emerge, a perfect mirror image of the ice crystal on the velvet tray. When the drawing is complete, Elian sets down the quill. He blows gently on the page to dry the ink. But the work is not quite done. He reaches for a small glass vial. It is slender and clear, no bigger than your finger. With a pair of delicate silver tweezers, he picks up the real snowflake from the velvet tray. He moves with the precision of a jeweler. He drops the snowflake into the vial. It floats down to the bottom, suspended in the air inside. Elian picks up a cork stopper. He presses it into the neck of the vial. Pop. The sound is soft and final. Inside the sealed vial, the magic of the vault takes hold. The snowflake will never melt. It acts as a tiny, preserved memory of this specific winter night. Elian stands up slowly. He takes the vial and walks to a wall covered in shelves. Thousands of tiny glass vials line the shelves. They glitter like diamond dust. He finds an empty spot. He places the new vial on the shelf. Clink. It joins the collection, a library of frozen moments, a museum of silence. He returns to his stool. He turns the brass wheel again. Click, click, click. The velvet tray slides out once more, and there, waiting on the black fabric, is another snowflake, different from the first, unique in its own beautiful way. Elian picks up the magnifying glass. He leans in. He observes. He picks up the quill, and the peaceful, methodical cycle begins again. Scritch, scratch, observation, appreciation, preservation. There is a profound comfort in watching him work. The repetition acts like a lullaby for your mind. There are no decisions to be made here, no problems to solve, just the quiet, steady rhythm of the task. The fire pops softly in the background, the wind hums gently outside, and the quill scratches its silver path across the paper, over and over again, preserving the beauty of the winter, keeping the world cool, keeping the world quiet. You watch his hand move back and forth, back and forth. Your eyes begin to feel heavy, mirroring the slow, deliberate movements of the keeper. The glimmer of the silver ink begins to blur softly in your vision. It is a beautiful, boring, wonderful task, and it will continue, steady and sure, all through the night.
Outside the thick glass of the circular window, the snow begins to fall a little faster. The flakes are no longer drifting lazily. They are beginning to swirl, dancing in the wind, creating a soft white curtain around the cabin. Inside, Elian places the final vial onto the shelf. Clink. He looks at the row of captured snowflakes. They twinkle in the firelight, a long line of frozen stars, safe and sound. He turns back to his desk. He wipes the nib of the silver quill with a soft cloth. He places it back in its holder. Then, with both hands, he takes hold of the heavy leather cover of the Ledger of Winter. He closes it. The sound is dull and heavy. It is the sound of completion, the sound of a day's work properly finished. Elian lets out a long, contented sigh. It is a happy sound, the sound of rest approaching. He stands up from his stool, stretching his back gently. The joints of the old wooden stool creak in sympathy. He turns to you and offers a soft nod, a silent communication that says, "It is time to rest." He moves towards the small iron stove in the corner of the room. A copper kettle sits upon it, humming quietly. He lifts the kettle. The water is already hot. He reaches for 2 large ceramic mugs. They are thick and heavy, glazed in a deep midnight blue.
He opens a tin canister. The scent that escapes is rich and sweet, dark cocoa. He spoons the powder into the mugs, one generous heap, then another. He pours the hot water. Shh. The sound of the water hitting the chocolate is soothing. Steam rises instantly, billowing up in thick white ribbons. The aroma fills the small cabin. It overtakes the smell of the pine and the old books. It is the smell of pure comfort, warm chocolate, sugar, a hint of vanilla. Ilian stirs the mugs. Clink, clink, clink. The spoon chimes softly against the ceramic, a gentle domestic bell calling for relaxation. He carries the mugs over to the hearth. He hands one to you.
You reach out and take it. The ceramic is hot against your palms, but not too hot. It is a solid, grounding warmth. It travels from your fingertips up your arms, warming you from the outside in. Elian gestures to the armchair. You sink back into it. The moss-green velvet is soft and yielding. It hugs your body, supporting every muscle, allowing you to completely let go of any remaining tension. He picks up a folded blanket from the arm of the chair. It is a masterpiece of knitting. Thick, heavy yarn in shades of cream and gray. He unfolds it and drapes it over you. The weight of the blanket is wonderful. It feels like a hug. It presses down gently on your legs, your waist, your chest. You feel swaddled, protected, anchored to the chair. Elian takes his own seat in a rocking chair on the other side of the fire. He wraps his hands around his own mug and leans back. He takes a sip and closes his eyes. Now there is nothing left to do. The work is done. The documentation is filed. The winter is preserved. You bring the mug to your lips and take a sip. The cocoa is rich, velvety, and sweet. It warms your throat and settles in your stomach like a glowing ember. You turn your head slightly to look out the window. The contrast is breathtaking. Outside, the wind has picked up. The snow is swirling in a chaotic, beautiful flurry. The trees are swaying. The world is a blur of cold, blue, and white. It looks freezing, wild, untamed. But here, inside the vault, everything is still. The fire is steady. The light is golden. The air is warm and smells of chocolate. There is a profound sense of satisfaction in this contrast, knowing that the storm is out there, but it cannot touch you. The thick log walls are impenetrable. The heavy glass keeps the cold at bay. You are in a bubble of safety, a sanctuary of warmth. You watch the snow lash against the window pane. Tap, tap, tap. It tries to come in, but it cannot. It only serves to remind you of how lucky you are to be inside. The fire crackles again. A log shifts, sending a shower of sparks up the chimney. The heat radiates against your shins, warming your toes inside your socks.
Your eyelids begin to feel heavy, wonderfully, pleasantly heavy. You watch the steam rising from your mug, curling and twisting, dancing with the shadows on the ceiling. You feel a deep, resonating peace settle in your chest. Alien begins to rock slowly in his chair. Creak, rock, creak, rock. The rhythm is slow, like a heartbeat, like the ticking of the clock. You are safe. You are warm. You are home. The fire in the hearth has burned down low now. The bright, dancing orange flames have settled into a bed of deep, glowing embers. They pulse gently, a soft, red heartbeat in the dimming room. The light in the cabin softens. Shadows stretch out, long and sleepy, covering the shelves of vials, covering the ledger, covering the floor. The rocking chair has stopped moving. Elian sits perfectly still, his breathing deep and even. He is resting. The vault is resting. And now it is time for you to rest too. Your eyes are fully closed now. The heavy wool blanket tucked around you feels like it is becoming part of you. Its weight is so comforting, so grounding. It anchors you to this moment of perfect safety.
You feel the warmth of the cocoa still radiating in your chest, a glowing core of peace. Let the image of the cabin begin to fade. Let the walls dissolve into soft shadows. Let the furniture melt away into the darkness. All that is left is the feeling of being warm, the feeling of being safe, the feeling of being sheltered from the storm. Imagine now that you are light, weightless. You are no longer in the chair, you are drifting. You are like one of those snowflakes outside. But you are not cold. You are a snowflake made of warm light, drifting slowly down, drifting through the velvet darkness.
There is no wind to blow you off course. Just a gentle downward pull toward deep sleep, drifting past the stars, drifting past the moon, floating down through the indigo twilight, softly, quietly, effortlessly. Every breath you take is a signal to your body to let go a little more. Inhale warmth, exhale drifting. The world outside is frozen and still. The world inside you is warm and soft. You are entering the deepest vault of sleep now, a place where no noise can reach you, where no worries can find you. It is just you and the silence, sinking deeper into the mattress, sinking deeper into the pillow. Down, down, down. The snow covers everything in a blanket of quiet. You are safe. You are warm. You are asleep. Good night.